Hello, hello, hello. Hey, friends. Hello, hello, hello. Hey there. My name is Svava Brooks. I'm abuse survivor coach. If you're here watching the replay, thank you for stopping by and checking it out. Hey, friends. And if you're here live, please say hello. Please introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from. How can we support you? Hey, Chrisanne, what are you doing over there? Really good to be here with you all. So as abuse survivor coach, I work one-on-one with adult survivors of trauma, and I love to support survivors in groups as we heal and restore our hearts and our minds and our spirits. And to help us get out, I've created a couple guides. This is the one we're working our way through here. And just to let my friends know on Periscope, sorry guys, I'm in broadcast mode only over here. I cannot manage two bots and two chats at the same time. But hey friends, how are we doing? How's it going today? Hey Sue. Hey Wanda. Hey Andre, so good to see you. We missed you. Good to be here with you guys. And this is, for some of us, our second meeting today. How are we holding up? Feels like this has been a long week already. I don't know about you, but sometimes it all just comes at once. Everything needs to happen the same week. So, hey, Chrisanne, here you are. You had a nap, so good for you. Good for you. I went and did my yoga in between our meetings. So and today I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts. Those of you who know me, I am born and raised in Reykjavik, Iceland. So Facebook was popping up with some old pictures, memories from Iceland. And so I pulled out my Reykjavik t-shirt, and that felt like it brought me closer. So happy to be here. Yeah, right. Feels like Thursday. It's only Tuesday. I know, right? It's just one of those weeks. And it's been really, really sunny and beautiful. It felt like summer had arrived here in Portland, Oregon. And then today it is cloudy and rainy, but it's actually good to get a little break from the sunshine. Because I can tell, I actually got a little tan over the weekend, and my chest was a little sunburned from being out on the river. So good to get a break. Good to get a break. So awesome. So we'll just, yes, Andre, gorgeous where you are. Glad to hear it. Yes, I'm sorry. We were a little MIA, right? When we met up, most of us, not all of us, a handful of us here met up in San Antonio, Texas for our retreat just a few weeks ago. So I'm sorry, there was no note. Well, you maybe knew about it. So, but we're back. We are back to our usual schedule. Yes, Wanda, what do you think? I told you guys I was going to get my hair cut. Thanks for noticing. I'm loving it. Hakuna Matata. There you go, Andre. There you go. There you go. So yeah. So Wanda, on Sunday, I was supposed to get a haircut on Mother's Day. Yes, it was getting really long. I just caught a picture of myself where I could see how long my hair was getting on the back. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is just way too long. So, hey, Carrie, welcome. We're doing great. Where are you from, Carrie? And so on Sunday, I was supposed to go Sunday morning to get my hair cut. I'd scheduled with my usual hairdresser. And then she called sick. She wasn't feeling well. And it was okay. I was just going to wait. But then my daughter, Sabrina, whom is so talented, I'm blown away sometimes. There's nothing that child can't do. she was trimming her brother's hair. And as I was watching her, and she's done that before, I'm like, hey, Sabrina, you want to cut my hair? All right. Welcome. Well, we are a big hit with the English folks. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So Carrie is a tricky name. So what are your pronouns, if you want to help us out with that? So basically, Sabrina cut my hair, and I think she did a pretty good job. So I felt bad. My hairdresser called to reschedule, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, Sabrina cut my hair. I'm going to wait a few weeks, and then I'll come in for a trim. So that's my haircut story from this weekend. So good you're all here. So are we ready, guys? Ready to dive in? So just to give you a heads up, Carrie, yes, Sue, our friend here, is from Lincoln, and our usual friend Rob, who is sometimes here, is also, Sue knows where he's from. But so we love our friends from the UK. I'm sorry it's pretty late over there right now, but I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. And so just Carrie, so you know, and for anybody listening, basically, I'm going to share a little tidbit from, there you go, Andre, from the page of the day, from our workbook. And then there's 2 questions that I ask. And we have a closed Facebook group where members share their journal entry, and they've given me permission, as they wrote out on their journal and shared today, they give me permission to share it here in this public forum with you. So, but I would love to hear from you. Please jump in and participate with your thoughts and comments. And we'd love to celebrate you, because healing it takes guts, it takes courage. And it's so much easier when we do it in a group or in a space with other people that understand, right? We get it. We get you. We understand it. It's not fun or pretty at times. And sometimes we just need to vent. We just need to get that yuck out of our heads, you know, talk about it in a safe place so we can get back on board to, yes, this is my life now. The hurt is in the past. I'm going to focus on this moment, right here and now, being as grounded and as present in the moment as I can, because I'm going to choose my life moving forward. I'm going to choose my thoughts and beliefs that I'm bringing with me into my future as I'm creating the change I want and the life I want and need. So anyways, today we are talking about creating safety, right? Creating safety is about learning to trust yourself again, to trust your body, to trust your heart, trust your gut, right? That you have power and that you have a voice. I did make a note here, right? We talk about trusting ourselves again. Well, this can be tricky, right? For those of us here who don't maybe have memories of having ever been safe, right? So this is tricky. But we did come into this world as children, I believe, fully trusting, right? Fully trusting, loving, open to joy, right? Expecting that our needs were going to get met and we were going to get love and support, right, from our caregivers. But for many of us, quickly, that was not the case. So the idea for us to go back to trusting ourselves, that could feel that uncertainty. What do you mean? I don't have a reference point. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have something I can go back to. So if that is you, my friend, I want you to practice extra self-care and kindness, right? Then what you're doing as you're moving forward, you're understanding the impact of trauma, of not getting that nurturing, grounding, safety, someone, rescuing you or protecting you as a child and loving you unconditionally, right? But there is still the hope, and you still have the capacity to learn. It's tricky, yes, But, and again, this is the beauty of a group, right? When we, hold a space for each other, we model for each other, and we share our process, then other people see, oh, wait, that's what that looks like. That's what that sounds like. While you're also self-regulating, using some kind of mindfulness or meditation or tapping, anything that helps you to stay, right? Yes, maybe a little activated as we're talking about some hard things, but please do your best to navigate that. I'm going to show you here my handy dandy handout, right? That we do our best to stay in social engagement. Yes, a little bit of popping up into our fight or flight is normal, but doing our best not to go too far up. So grounding, this is self-compassion, giving yourself, some warmth, butterfly hugs, crossing that midline, right? Helps the brain to not get too activated, right? I pull it up, then pulling it down into that part of your brain that will just override. So, or come back to your breath, feel your feet on the floor, or do tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And I loved, Lori, your description of the tapping, your tapping experience. So much we can do as we are learning to trust again, and some of us for the first time. Trust your body, trust our heart, trusting our gut feeling, owning, stepping into our power, and then, right, honor and speak, use our voice. So like I mentioned, that trust was taken from you when you were abused, when something bad happened to you and you weren't able to stop it. Again, for so many of us, right? Because I thought in my little innocent mind and heart that it was my job to stop it. It was my job to make sure it didn't happen again. So when it did happen again, I thought it was my fault. I thought I had done something wrong. I was the bad one. Again, I was just a little girl, so didn't understand how that powerlessness traveled with me up into my adulthood, right? So you then grew into an adult not believing in your ability to prevent bad things from happening again, never feeling safe in your body and or in the world. So that trust will come back when we learn to accept ourselves, forgive ourselves. Forgiveness can feel too big in the beginning, right? But I see forgiveness and acceptance kind of on the spectrum, right? In terms of it's the path to forgiveness. And let's see here. And treat yourself right with kindness and compassion. That's what you deserve then and you do now. And the trust will come when the love comes, right? That is the language that the body understands. And even your mind understands. Warmth. When we speak about our needs, and again, this is tricky, and we talking about our feelings is hard, or really expressing what we're experiencing is hard because we haven't been available. We've been living up here. So coming into our body, it's really a whole new world. It's a whole new language that you're learning to speak. It's a whole new, sensations and awareness and that's happening inside of us. So it's quite a bit to navigate in the beginning, but it's all good. We got this, and we just go nice and slow, and trust me, your body is so grateful, and your heart is so happy that you're finally listening, right? And your body is like, ooh, somebody has slowed down enough to know that I'm your friend. I'm working with you, not against you. And understanding how the signals coming up from the body, right? sends the mind sometimes off on its own spin cycle. So the trust will come when the love comes. The trust will come with the kindness. Trust needs love, love yourself, and the trust will grow. So the 2 questions for today, my friends: what have you done in the last week to feel safe within yourself or with yourself? And how is it working so far? So, loved your comments, my friends. And if you have not given me permission already here in this space, please give me a heads up. Lori, I didn't see your permission. I know you've said before, but I would love it if you gave me a heads up. Sue shared with us, for me, safety is emotional rather than physical. Can you guys relate to that? Safety is emotional rather than physical. I really liked how you identified that for you, Sue. She says, thank you, Lori. Hey, LD, I didn't see you here earlier. Glad you're here, my friend. She says, my inner child longs to be loved, but she's also afraid of it. She's afraid to trust it, afraid her need for love will make people angry and reject her. And she's afraid of their anger and of their anger and outrage that she feels, but was never, and of the anger and outrage that she feels, but was never and has never been allowed to express. Again, my friend Sue, who else, right, can relate? Afraid of anger? That was me. Anybody being angry out here, I completely shut down and went inward. Or when I learned to get in touch with my feelings, I was terrified of opening up my rage because my experience around anger was that somebody got hurt. Thanks, Andre, right? Somebody got hurt. And so I thought that if I let that anger out, that somebody would get hurt because that's what I saw around me growing up, right? But here's the thing, my friends. It's like now as adults, right? This is where your mind, our biology and our mind tricks us. Yes, we learn by seeing, we just mimic what we see around us, my friends. We can't help it. How many here have thought way back, as looking at our parents or whatever, oh yeah, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to say what my parents say, or I'm never going to do what my caregivers say or do. And then one day as parents or as we are interacting with other people, these words just come out of our mouth and we're like, holy duck, right? Sorry. I can't believe I'm just repeating what I said I was never going to say. Where did that come from? There you go, Carrie. There you go. That's a great way to get your anger out in a healthy way. Express it, right? I talk a lot about writing it out, getting it out. You had every reason to be outraged, to be angry. And the truth is, the big feeling often around anger that we carry isn't even ours. It feels big and intense because it's coming from a little girl or a little boy, right? And to a little body, those feelings feel big and out of control. We haven't experienced being able to step into our power and speak about our outrage and set a boundary, right? So I totally understand, Sue. And I know you're doing a beautiful job of learning to sit and be with your inner child, giving her space to express those feelings. And with it is the anger, which is kind of the outrage that you didn't get the love you needed, right? That you didn't get the nurturing, right? The unconditional love that was your birthright. So we're learning to express that. And so recognize, my friend, and that's maybe my little invitation, excuse me, after today. When you feel anger, just maybe tap into, it's like, I wonder how old I am here. Because what also happens for us, my friends, is that we do become, emotionally stunted in some ways, right? And trust me, this is not a judgment. You don't have to look very far. When you see in our culture, most people are not comfortable with expressing their feelings and don't even know how to communicate their feelings in a healthy way. This is really a big problem, right? So, but just check in with yourself. Like, how long have you been feeling that, right? And how old do you think you feel in this when this comes up for you? And just to notice in your body, where does this live? And if you want to take it even further, write it out. You don't even have to say the words, but just write it out. And I know sometimes writing can feel intimidating and risky because we're like, oh my God, if somebody sees this, they're going to think I'm nuts, right? But just getting it out, rip it up, put it on the fire. There you go, Sue. She says, at the moment, I feel like I was very, very young. Yes. And, we've all seen children crying, right? When they, I don't know if we've all seen, but we've heard kids. The good thing is that they've been picked up and tended to sooner than later. But when you hear a child that is crying because, somewhere their need isn't met, it feels like gut-wrenching to that child. It's like a life or death. And maybe their mom is just, 3 footsteps away, but in that moment. So it feels like it is an outrage to a very young child to be comforted or to supported or to be loved and held in warmth and acceptance. As much as all of us needed that, right? So just something to keep in mind, my friends. So Sue goes on to share with us, she says, I've been sitting with her, feeling her feelings and her tears, assuring her that she is loved and doing my best to be open to her anger, but it is tough and it's ongoing. Yet I believe I am learning to love myself, to make it safe to feel all of my feelings. Yes. Yes. That's beautiful, Sue. That's beautiful. Because they aren't good or bad. They're just feelings, right? And they just have some information for us. So, but I also recognize that being, a little nervous about connecting with that little girl who maybe is a little angry. Hey, Sharon. Hey, friend. Because also for me, I recognize the reason why I was scared of her is that she was angry at me too, right? She was hurt that I had avoided her. I had ignored her. I kept abandoning her, not wanting to stay with her and to let her express her hurt. So once I got that, I could at least communicate. It's like, hey, baby girl, this scares the crap out of me. I don't know how to do this. No one did this for me. I don't know what it looks like to sit with someone and just listen when they're upset, when they're hurt, or they're angry. And I was honest with her, but I'm willing to try. I'm willing to try. And that's the beauty with your inner child. They will appreciate your best effort. If it's honest and you keep showing up, right, doing the best you can. Yes. And I think often the anger that's in there is more coming from, it's like, oh my gosh, is nobody going to listen? Oh my God, is nobody going to pay attention? Oh my God, is nobody going to show up, right? It's more that intense energy. And I think we even talked about this a little bit on our call this morning, that, the so much energy that we use in repressing and holding and pushing down. Like it's like this really big beach ball, right? We're holding underwater. And that's where you know, the worry comes from. It's like, what if I let go and it's going to really pop up, fly up, right? And on the air. And so much of our life force is spent avoiding, resisting. So it's all good. And you are doing a beautiful job, Sue. Yes, it is tough and it is ongoing, yet I believe I am learning to love myself, to make it safe, like you said, to feel all of my feelings, to be held and to be loved. That's right, Sue. That's it. That's it. Right? Isn't that what we all long for? At least many of us. I don't want to just speak on behalf of everybody, but oh my goodness, just to be held, just to be, it's okay. Nope, you don't have to do anything. I'm just going to sit and hold you, right? This is my inner child, my little girl, Svava. So yeah, I'm just going to sit with you, right? And a lot of us talk about that expectation, right? If I share, I mean, if you know that something is going to be wanted from us, right? That we don't open to receiving love because there's a catch. So there you go, Donna. She says, I always tell Sue, she's like Marco Polo. She's going into uncharted territory. Yes, she is. And she's leaving not only breadcrumbs for the rest of us, she's building a lighthouse along the way. Every few meters or so, she's building up a lighthouse. So you guys, this is the way. It can feel that way. Yes, Sue. And that's it. Exactly. Like I said in the beginning, because we are going somewhere we haven't been. Right? It's like, what do you mean, love? What do you mean, kindness to me? What do you mean, accepting this and loving this and looking in the mirror and feeling joy and that, you know, that you are beautiful and complete the way you are, right? So it is new territory. The lifeline is just a voice away. Thank you, Sharon. Exactly. That's it. That's it. Just going down the speed dial. Before the internet, before email, I had speed dial on my phone. All the women in my support group, I'd be like, okay, who's at home? Who can I get through to? So thank you, Sue. Thank you, my friend. Doing a beautiful job. Beautiful, beautiful job. Wanda shares with us, she says, I am learning how to communicate with my teenage self. That in itself is huge for me because that was a time when I felt very unsafe, especially with the choices I was making. But today I'm becoming the adult that I needed at 16. I sit patiently listening to my heart, feeling the painstaking memories, giving myself permission to grieve the sad child while identifying my current strengths that were gained because of that time in my life. Beautiful, beautiful, Wanda. I know that is not fun or pretty at times. That is not fun or pretty or easy, right? That is hard, right? The hard heart work of healing is to sit with ourselves because no one else can. Yes, we can sit with each other, but your inner 16-year-old or your 8-year-old, or, you know, for me, it's my 6-year-old and my infant self, and Sue for your infant self, your little self. They're not wanting any of us to help. They're wanting you to show up for you, right? And the more we kind of Marco Polo our way inside, into uncharted territory on the inside. The people, the parts in here that I've been longing to be seen and heard, they're right there waiting. And Wanda, right, feeling, you say the feeling, the memories. I used to be really worried about not wanting to go in there because I was, again, worried of being flooded with reliving things or getting memories that I'm like, no. I've done a good job of repressing it. I'm not going back there. And there was years from my childhood I don't remember. I know I disassociated a lot as a child. I just checked out of this body. This body was just on autopilot a lot. But the thing is, your inner child will only bring up a little pieces at a time, right? For those of you who have tried TRE with me, right, we're learning to activate our inherent wisdom of our body to release stress and trauma from the body. You won't tremor if you don't feel safe, right? The same way your inner child knows. It organically and authentically knows what to bring you next. There is some rhyme and reason to it. It doesn't always feel that way. At least that's my belief. And yes, we do spiral, right? You can either look at it this way or up, but sometimes we do get to revisit things. You maybe just touched on the top level the first time around there, or the first time this new issue or this new piece came into your awareness. And then you get to revisit. It's like, oh, okay. I thought I had this one down. I thought I had a better understanding. But now I'm getting to revisit it. And so much of our trauma has been buried into our subconscious. It's so much a part of our autopilot, right? Because we have trained ourselves to be that way. So as we're healing, we are training ourselves to be different. And as we're shifting, new things get brought up. And they get brought up to be brought out. Up and out, my friends. Up and out. Yes, Sue, I know that spiral well. I hear you. I hear you, my friend. So Wanda also goes on to say, hey, thank you, LD, for stopping by. Always good to see you, friend. So Wanda goes on to say, she says, still sitting still during those uncomfortable times, and acknowledging that the feeling is actually a memory of an uncomfortable time and not the present is working very well for me. I may not feel it first, but no longer stay stuck as long. Beautiful, Wanda. Beautiful, right? So happy for you. So proud of you, right? You are learning. I learned to be this way. This is my body response. Trauma gets captured and stored in our bodies. And when we go back there, when it's activated in our nervous system, it connects to that part of your brain that doesn't know that's in the past, right? Your amygdala is okay, right? This is it. It's happening now. Get the heck out of there. Defend yourself. Push back. Leave now. So it can take everything we have in the beginning. Okay, I'm going to breathe through this. I'm going to reorient. I'm going to look around. All right, sweet body, I can see you're ready to run. But you know what? I'm actually okay right here, right now, right? Even though I don't feel okay, even though I'm feeling anxious, I'm still actually okay right now. I'm feeling all right here, right now. I can accept my body right here, right now, even though I'm feeling very, very anxious, right? I'm working through a memory that makes me feel very, very anxious. So coming back. All right, Donna. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. So You're doing a beautiful job, Wanda. I want to celebrate you, my friend, right? And I know your 16-year-old self is so happy. She's so happy. But remember, all she knows is how to act out, right? What did we all do as teenagers, right? When we don't have people we can talk to, we act out. We push people away. That's what teenagers do. And that's what even our inner child will do until we are able to earn their trust, just like we would a relationship out here. We need to take the same approach with building a caring, nurturing relationship with ourselves, our inner selves. So thank you, Wanda. Thank you so much, my friend. Brilliant, brilliant job. All right, here, let's see. Lori gave me permission to share. She put up a picture of, let's see, Snuffleupagus. I loved it. She says, I've been trying to talk nice to myself in my head out loud. And sometimes if I really need support in writing, I'll write over and over on a piece of paper. I love you, thank you, etc. I've tried once or twice to hug myself with some rocking or tapping. I've been taking another look at tapping since Sue and I spoke about my failure with the technique. To be honest, I never combined it with positive self-talk. I think, though, something magical and distractive thing was supposed to happen from the tapping alone. This week, however, I found that combining positive self-talk, thanking myself for working hard with a hug-like posture while tapping on my shoulders or shoulder blades, while rocking gently in my chair, really kind of felt like I was being loved and cared for by someone, like my very own self-created Snuffleupagus. I worked probably too hard, but suffered very little battle fatigue, I think, because of it. That is just so awesome, Lori. I love your visuals, right? And I love your experimenting. And that's the piece about tapping, my friend. Yes, you can do tapping without words because this physical body also has energy body, there's energy systems in our bodies, right? If you ever had done acupressure or acupuncture, you get those needles, right? There are energy centers in our bodies where we hold tension, right? So when we are stressed, we contract, we restrict. And most of us stay that way, right? Or we are moving our bodies in a way that's not helpful, supportive, and something gets out of line or a muscle gets pulled or whatever. So energy gets stuck in our bodies. So yes, you can do tapping without words, without at least saying them out loud. You can say them to yourself. But what is really powerful, just like you said here, Lori, is that if you start by declaring what is, right? And it's helpful to narrow down what really is deeply, your challenging issue. But even if you just acknowledge the truth, like, in this moment, I'm feeling anxious, even though I feel anxious, butterflies in my chest or tightness in my stomach, even though I feel anxious, I still love and accept myself. And I know for a lot of us, the idea of loving and accepting ourselves is a little too big, right? But we are working on some kind of affirmation that no matter what's happened to you, here you are, right here, right now, with this body, right? With these sensations, how can you accept just what is, right? And okay, if loving and accepting is too big, I'm just going to be here right now with this, right? I'm learning how to love and accept myself. I'm not so sure about it right now, but I'm willing to maybe consider the possibility that me too. I too can learn how to love and accept myself, right? And then after we tap, 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 awesome, Andre. And after we tap, tap, tap a little bit here on the karate point, then we go through, you know, the rest of the tapping points with a shorter sentence, you know, just the truth. Even though I feel anxious, right? I feel anxious. I feel anxious, right? I feel anxious. Even though I feel anxious, I feel anxious. I feel anxious. I feel anxious, right? Just the reality of what you're experiencing as you work your way through the tapping points. Just this little bit, and I can feel the energy moving. And I wasn't that anxious, but I'm just saying, even though I'm not even working on something specific, I can feel the energy starts to move. And it's interesting, often when I'm tapping, it's when I come to this point, I will often start to yawn. That's like my body responding. That's awesome, Andre. That's what stopped me at first, Sue. Yes. Good, Lori. Yes, exactly. Do it in a way that works you, right? Even just when we do a little bit of self-compassion, this, when we run our hands down our shoulders, we are actually, right? This is the language that the body understands. The body understands energy, messages, signals. So hugging yourself, yes. So this actually activates, right, the parasympathetic part of your nervous system that takes you down from, you know, your sympathetic nervous system gets you activated, you feel the stress, you're ready to fight or flee, coming back onto the other side, calming back down, coming back into rest and digest. Social engagement. Now we can really look around, reorient. No, I'm okay. I'm safe now. I'm okay. So, but to work, to be intentional with using some of these tools, my friends, because so much of the toxic impact of our trauma comes from holding all this, I call it just stagnant energy, this just energy that isn't even ours, right? We carry all kinds of crap from the past still in our bodies. So talking about it, tapping around it, it all helps. It all releases. And even though we don't feel it at first, this is why I learned, I became a Reiki practitioner. My whole Reiki journey from beginning to an end was probably about 7 years. I got into Reiki because people kept talking about energy. And I'm like, what are they talking about? I don't feel anything. But I was committed to, if they can feel it, I'm sure I can feel it too. But I recognized I was so disconnected from my body that I was very nervous with going into my body and starting to feel and sense things happening inside because it wasn't safe. Tapped right, left, rocking back and forth like caring for a child. Beautiful, Lori. Beautiful. And you cannot do tapping wrong. You cannot mess it up. You cannot. One way or another, it will help you. If you can get anything that's meant to be, you know, movement, if you get the movement going, more power to you. More power to you. So beautiful, my friends. Thank you so much for sharing, Lori. I really appreciate it. And Sue and Wanda. And I drew a card for us today. One day she decided to open up her arms and receive. So how about it? How does that apply, right? What are we learning to receive? We're learning to trust love again. Be open to receiving love and trusting yourself. And here's the thing, the more we love ourselves, the stronger our boundaries get. Because now that I love and respect this, you don't get to respect me, disrespect me. You don't get to bully me. Yes, they are. Yes, they sure do. They are always perfect. So self-kindness, right, is the path. The self-care is the path to self-kindness, to self-respect, to self-compassion, to self-love. And when you love yourself, you are standing firm in your power. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. And I'm going to take responsibility for me. And I'm going to trust that you're going to take responsibility for you. And when we take responsibility for us and our needs, we bring in the overflow, what we can give to other people. We give out of abundance, not from scarcity, because we are giving because we're hoping to get. So, all right, my friends, I mentioned in our group, I needed to call our meeting or webcast a little shorter today. I'm going to be on a podcast in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to go stretch my legs, get my cup of tea. But thank you, beautiful souls, for being here, for sharing in the group and celebrating each other. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you, Lori. I just noticed. You guys rock. Yes, the podcast, I'm going to be on this podcast now regularly every month, every second Tuesday of the month. So that's going to be, I'm going to be live in about 15 minutes. And there I'm going to be answering questions to people that call in and are asking about the healing journey. You know me, my friends, always happy to help. So thank you for being here and watching. Please give me thumbs up on YouTube if this was helpful to you. And over on Periscope, please share a few hearts and retweet with anybody that you think this could support on the healing journey. Thanks, friends. I'll see you back here on Thursday, but a few of you I'm also going to see tomorrow in our mindfulness class. So thanks, friends. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you later. Bye. Thank you, Sue.